Hello everyone, for this final video I will be using Procedural Worlds assets, mainly Gaia Pro, but also some cool additional content. So Procedural Worlds is offering a new approach to their assets with Canopy, which is basically a subscription service offering all content and all content that you're used to, but a lot more as well, which is really cool. Definitely have a look at obviously the base offering, but I'm also going to show you what gets added on top of that. So when we go to downloads, for example, we can find all of the assets that we're used to, but there's a lot of additional content. So we have stamps, texture packs, especially the texture packs I really like myself. We have complete game ready levels even, which I'm actually going to cover in some other videos because that's just incredibly awesome. Some Cinti stuff is in there, which I know a lot of you are using, so that's why I'm definitely covering that in a separate video. We have early access to some of the new tools, obviously always up to date, and other than that it includes all of the assets you're used to, so Gaia Pro, Gina Pro, Pegasus, etc., loads more. So one of the nice things here is that there's a new free version of Gaia ML, which is completely free to use. It has the same great core experience as Gaia Pro, obviously lacking all of the features that make Gaia Pro. But it's a great way to try out this product, see if you like it before you actually commit to the full version. And these new versions all use some latest AI tech from Intel and Unity as well, and we can actually see that in performance. So performance has gotten a lot better, and I personally always really enjoy creating new levels, new maps, and all of the sorts. But the more you add, the more performance drops. So every gain in performance when it comes to level design is it's a big win, obviously. So yeah, definitely have a look. Check this out. Obviously, I'll be using Gaia Pro to actually set up my scene, which is just going to be really easy. The latest Gaia Pro has some new features which basically allow you to have some pre-generated options there with pre-generated stamps, different biome options. It's going to be really simple to set this up, and it's going to save me a lot of time on the video, which obviously I appreciate. I'll add the link in the description. I would like to add that I do have an affiliate link to this. So keep that in mind when you have a look. But honestly, just at least try the free experience, see if you enjoy it. It's pretty good stuff. So let's dive into the video. So before we get started, I'd like to thank all of my Patreon supporters for the amazing support. So in this video, we'll be setting up our scene with Gaia, and because we're using HDRP, it will automatically be using Flora as well. So Flora is Procedural World's solution in order to avoid any issues with HDRP, as HDRP is not able to render grass by default. The first time you'll set it up, you'll have to select your render pipeline. It automatically detects which one you're using, and then you need to install the correct render pipeline options, and don't forget to install the shaders as well. So one of the nice things here is that obviously this is for a tutorial, so I would like to save some time, and we can use the new world designer. So I'll keep the size medium. I think that's big enough. I'll go with desktop, as I only have an RTX 2060, I think it is. So it doesn't really qualify as powerful. I'll go with the forest. I prefer forest given the setting we're going for. And then we can create the world designer. It will automatically set up everything that is fitting. So yay, pretty cool. So we get our preview, which is really nice, and here we can still randomize, randomize our stamps. Well, we can randomize all basically. There we go. No, I'm not a fan of that. It's a bit too hilly. Sounds weird. Um, Again, way too many hills, mountains. Um, and obviously, if you have something, this is much better. Nice. There's a lot of flat terrains here I can use. The blue is the ocean. We can change that volume as well. I think this is nice. Maybe it's even still a bit too hilly. Obviously, this is a preview, by the way. It's still there's still a lot of hills. So yeah, no, I'll keep it the same. We have the world shape, so generator, where we could, edit a lot of these settings. I'm still going to go with just, random all, just want to have something different, and we'll try a couple of times until we get something that, kind of fits what I'm going for. This is, really cool, but I want something a tiny bit flatter and less hills. So yeah, I think this is nice. We have more than enough flat terrain here because I still want to add some buildings with Lornenfell. But we have the nice mountain backdrops, which I really want to have. I think that looks really cool. So yeah, pretty cool. Obviously, if this would be my own game, I would be messing around with the stamps. I installed the high quality textures from Canopy as well, which looks really nice. And if you're going to do this for yourself, I'd recommend messing around with stamps because it's just so much more fun to do it yourself. But this is perfect for a tutorial. So we'll just generate world. Yes, great. There we go. Really nice. Perfect. So now we'll have our terrain, the textures. We don't have everything yet. So as you can see, we have our biome spawners. I'm fine with whatever, so I'll just spawn it. And there we go. You will do that, and then I'm going to create runtime. And that's pretty much it. Then everything will be there. As you can see, we have a lot of white and we don't have any trees. Now, if you run into this, could be because of some masking. So let's have a look here. Just check the trees. And as you can see, there's a lot of masks. So if, for example, I turn off collision mask, I don't know if that's going to be enough. I really have no clue. Yeah, we get some, which is already nice. If we then turn off slope mask, we get some more. And if we turn off hide mask, we get some more. Well, you get the idea. So basically, you'll get more. Now, because I want to add Lordenfell to this, you can even turn this off, and I think then we get way too many. No, I think this is actually fine. Yes, you can do the same with the other trees, etc. Now, I'm actually okay with this. I don't need there to be too many trees, so I might actually even turn this on, and then later, I'll add some more. Simply because I do want to mess around with. No, okay. Want to mess around with some of the other packs as well. But yeah, cool. Yes, you can do that with other trees as well and the other details. Just check the moss, the density, things like that. Definitely mess around with that, as by default, nothing is perfect and you will always want to optimize it for your game. But now here's the thing, as you can see, no grass, which is kind of an issue. I'm going to get our player beloved above terrain level, so he can actually walk around. I don't know how high he'll have to go. Pretty high. Let's also put him somewhere here. That's a lot better. Okay, no, that wasn't a lot better. Now he's too high. There we go. And I'll drop the bonfire somewhere close to where he is later. Cool. So this is a nice starting position. But yeah, as you can see, we'll need the grass. One of the things, by the way, is that because Gaia does have a controller, make sure that you could run into this when you go to player settings. It could change your input manager. Just one of the things to be aware of. It's fine for me. So next thing we need to do is we need to go to procedural worlds, flora, flora, and then add flora to the scene. Yes, yes. And then it's going to add it to the scene. And basically this will make it sure that it works with any render pipeline. Yay, cool. Yes, yes. And then one of the things we can check is basically do of all of our spawners have support for flora. We'll just want to double check that. Okay, we can close this. So grass, if we have a look at our grass, which is all of the white stuff basically, because HDRP just doesn't support that by default. In resource settings, is flora enabled? I'll do enable all again. Yes, create settings, just to make sure it really does enable everything. I know it should. I'm well aware of that, but just I want to be sure. Yeah, clear. Cool. So you'll see now that on terrain we have a flora as well. It's still white here. I know you can get rid of that in the scene, I think, as well, but I haven't really tried it out too much. So as you can see, it's still not appearing. So we'll go back, and one of the things we'll do first is we'll go to Gaia Player, and then here you need to select, you'll need to select Custom, drop in our player, drop in the camera, apply setup, and then once we hit play mode, we will have our grass appear. And that's all because of the, grass basically is, it needs to be rendered. It's really that simple. And as you can see, now it's all rendering. And the nice thing with this approach, obviously, is that we still have full biome control over everything we do. One of the things I noticed straight away, which is I'm going to edit, is, I don't like my stamina. So let's have a look. Movement, run triggers, run conditions, subtract, and I'm going to do 0.4 as we're just draining too much. It's just too much. Cool. So yeah, that's literally all there is to it. We have our terrain set up, which is really, really cool. As you can see, it's really simple. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some manual placement here. I gotta say it looks quite good. I'm going to do some manual placement here. This is actually a good spot, so I'll be using Lord and Fell to place some, just a couple of runes, just a couple of objects, just so we can actually, have something really, really nice here. So yeah, I'll go place that, manually, have some fun with it, and I'll be back. So we're back in our scene. As you can see, I added a small little intro, which is incredibly simple to set up, but obviously I will show you how to do it. And yeah, it's looking a lot better. I added some props and some pre-made setups from Lord and Fell to the scene, just to make it look better. Now it looks really cool, but obviously there's a couple of things we'll still need to adjust now that I've play tested this a bit. And let's walk through those last steps that we basically need to change to just make it work better. So first off, let's have a look at our basic enemy behavior, which covers all the normal enemies. And the first thing we need to do is stop behavior and then invoker. So after these last steps, it will then stop the behavior and it will no longer keep repeating. And the reason for that is quite basic. Otherwise, this would keep happening, and we don't want that to happen. So yeah, quick first fix. Then secondly, I already addressed this in the last video, which was an extension of the video before. If you haven't seen that, that's completely fine. What we need to add on start is we basically need to add these triggers. They will call the same actions we already set up before, so no new additional actions. So just the values actions we used before on the on start, which basically covers syncing these stats to variables. And the reason that needs to happen is because otherwise they just won't sync. So yeah, we need to make sure that happens. So again, basic, but it needs to happen. So yeah, pretty cool. So just, this is how you add the trigger, in case you don't know. Stat change, and then you select the stat. And the stats we need to sync are all the stats that impact the variables for damage. And yeah, that's actually it. All the variables that impact damage. So pretty cool, pretty basic, and they just call this literal same action. So they're all the same actions we already set up before that get called on start, and we just need to do them again. And yeah, that's it. So strength, dexterity, and resistance. Then next up, the other thing we'll need to do is on the HUD. And this is something I actually didn't notice before, so I'm not sure if I changed something that is the cause of this. But on all of these, no, that's not working. We need to remove the transition. And the transition is basically glitching a bit once we add life or anything like that in the level up menu. Again, I didn't really notice it before, so it's a bit strange. I never noticed that before, but it's quite prominent now. So I'm definitely adding, removing that. And, it's not like it really did all that much before, but this basically fixes any of those issues. Then next up, what we need to do is we also need to change the steps in order to make sure that health is always full when we upgrade it. Cool, so on the brassiere, we'll go to canvas choices, and on the leave button, what we need to add to the actions we had before was basically attribute, player, health, add, and you can literally add an infinite amount. It doesn't matter. You should add as high as possible, pretty much, just to avoid any issues. And basically what this does is it makes sure that health will be full after we actually upgrade those last little things. Cool. So let's have a look. Let's try this out. Now, before we do that, I'll show you what I did with that little intro. It's actually really simple. So it's one trigger with a couple of actions and two canvases. So the first canvas is simply black. It just has a black image, and that's it. And it has a canvas group. We're going to set that to 0, and I'll explain why in a bit as well. Then the second canvas, this one has to be set to 0 as well, and it basically consists of just an image and text, and that's it. Cool. And a camera motor. So the camera motor is just positioned, above the player. So, nicer view. You can place it wherever you want. And then when it comes to the actions, what we do, so first off, player is controllable, turned off. We're changing to the other camera. We're setting HUD to 0. So HUD needs a canvas group as well, in case you don't have that. Then the black canvas gets the set to 1, and the other canvas with the logo and the text gets the set to 1 as well. And all of this needs to happen instantly. That's the important part. So no duration time. It all needs to happen from the very start. Then we wait 2 seconds, and after those 2 seconds, we're going to transition the black screen out. So with a duration of 0.5 to alpha 0. Wait 1 second, do the same with this canvas, basically, with the logo and the text. Then I chose 4 seconds to transition from one camera mode to the other, wait 4 seconds and have the HUD reappear, and make sure to set the player controllable again and destroy this entire trigger. So the trigger contains the canvases as well, because we need to make sure they don't block any of the other canvases, because the important part is making sure that their sort order is high so that they are above everything else. And again, make sure that the sort order of this one is always above above the black screen, because it needs to be on top. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, it's a really simple intro, but it's a nice little touch, just makes it feel a bit more polished. But obviously, I would always recommend, doing a bit more, even though I don't think the Souls games should even do that. Cool. So yeah, that's it. Pretty basic, but it's a nice little touch. So let's give this a try. Cool. So I like this actually, even though again it is basic. It's a nice little touch. It looks pretty cool. Then yeah, we can check our brazier and see how it impacts the attributes. So I'm just going to add one to everything really. Level up. There we go. There we go. There we go. So yeah, no impact on no weird visual glitches. Confirm. Yeah, leave. Cool. And then when we check out the player, we'll see, he has more health, more mana, more stamina. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Cool. So we can have a look at the enemy. So I'm going to try to finish him off quickly. There we go. I like the dodge that we added. It's actually pretty sweet to the enemy's behavior. I mean, not to the player. Okay, I was slow. And yeah, I know they're supposed to do high damage, but I'm already getting my ass kicked straight away. I'll try to finish him off. And there we go. So finish him off, he's dead. Yay, cool. And then when I go to, let's switch stance. When I go to this guy, we don't have any focus issues, because that got alleviated as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah, we can fight and, yay. I'm doing a pretty crappy job, so I'll just stop it here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So all of our work concluded into one. If there's demand for it, I can make some additional videos depending on if people are actually enjoying this. Which I really hope you enjoyed everything we did there. I think we did quite some interesting things. From the character creation to setting up, the level up system, all of our stats, switching stances, the inventory. I think the behavior is pretty good as well. Obviously, can always be better. So fine tune how you'd like. But yeah, I think we did a pretty cool job here. I think we. It's quite an interesting setup for a game, and a good start to create something more of your own. I try to limit this to only 10 videos. Obviously, if I have already failed with the extended video on, just before this, and I'm aware that some of these videos are quite long. I could have split this up a bit more, but I try to introduce the chapters to YouTube to, give you at least chapters to switch to. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Definitely leave some feedback, what you thought about this series. Based on my previous Create a Game series, I thought it was really useful to actually pre-record everything. So it gave me time to fine-tune a couple of things a bit more, but also to make sure that we actually got to an end. Because the last series, I think it went up to 31 episodes, which honestly is just really, really long. Truth be told, it wasn't finished yet, but I also didn't really know where to go anymore at the same time, because it was a bit more, just coming up with new ideas along the way, instead of just having a fine-tuned series. Now, again, if you really did enjoy this and there's enough, enough anima for it, I will definitely, I'll definitely consider adding a couple of additional episodes. Just, tell me what about, as long as obviously it fits the game. So yeah, pretty happy with this. Thank you all for watching, and thanks for following this entire series. It's been really fun to create this, and yeah, I hope you'll like it.